بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معكم الأستاذ عمرو الشرقاوي، معلم لغة إنجليزية. إن شاء الله أكون مبسوط في وسطكم هذا العام، وربنا يوفقنا جميعا، وإن شاء الله ربنا يجعله عام بركة وخير ويمن على الجميع إن شاء الله. Good morning. I would like to introduce myself as Mr. Amr Sharqawi. I'm a teacher of English, and this year, inshallah, I will be teaching English for you. Hopefully, this year will be a very good year for all of us. Thank you very much, and welcome to my class. Today, I will be teaching you something which is very important, and it is related to the field of grammar. In order to get to the lesson and to put it clearly for you, I would like to say something for you first. In English, we have 4 basic skills. We have 4 basic skills in English. We have reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So we have 2 inputs and 2 outputs. You should read as more as you can in order to produce writing. In order to be good in writing, you should read. So we have input, which is reading, and output, which is writing. You have to read as more as you can in order to produce writing, and you have to listen as more as you can in order to produce speaking. So the 2 inputs are reading and listening, and the 2 outputs are speaking and writing. So first I would like to ask you, how many skills do we have in English? Yes, good, 4. In order to produce writing, you should read, great. And in order to speak in a good way, what to do? Bravo. You should listen as more as you can in order to produce speaking. Okay. After knowing the 4 skills which are very important for you as a student in order to deal with English and to master the language, you should know whatever you may have from all these skills in order to master your language and speak it in a very good way. Now, we are going to have a very valuable tip related to the field of grammar. So what is grammar? Grammar is important or not? It's very important for you to know all the field of grammar, or just to be clear. Is it okay to deal with grammar in a professional way? How to master grammar? These all questions are easy to understand and also are easy to answer them when you get very close to grammar from a good door. Grammar is something which is like a balance that measures the sentence you say, whether it's correct or not, whether it's permissible or not, whether you are going to speak yourself clearly and to express yourself to the people who are listening to you, or you will be not good enough to express yourself and to make them understand your way of speaking the language. In order to know grammar, you should know the tenses. The tenses is a very good door for you by which you can speak grammar in a good way. Let's consider something which is very useful and easy at the same time in Arabic. Let's say that someone who is Arabic native speaker say, Inna Allaha ma'a sabrin. Inna Allaha ma'a sabrin. This sentence in Arabic is very useful because it's meaningful and it's grammatically correct. In order to judge that man who spoke that sentence, we said it's meaningful because إن الله مع الصابرين معناها صحيح باللغة العربية. And it's grammatically correct because he said إن الله مع الصابرين. Let's consider it in another way. If someone who is Arabic and says إن الله مع الصابرين, it's grammatically not correct. It's not correct from the perspective of grammar. And if he says إِنَّ اللَّهَ مع الكافرين, it's meaningless. So, in order for you to judge someone who speaks any language, you should judge him from two main perspectives, which are grammar and meaning. In English, it's almost likely the same. If you wanted to judge someone who speaks English, it's very good for you to come through the main perspective, which is whether or not he speaks grammar in a good way, whether or not his sentence is meaningful or meaningless. So, I will give you a very clear example in English. Let's say someone who is English native speaker says, I went to school yesterday. It's a very good sentence because it's meaningful and at the same time it's grammatically correct. But let's say he says, I went to school every day. Okay? This is not correct at all because he spoke it in a very wrong way. He says, I went, which is past, with every day, which is present. Okay. Like also when he says, I study in the street. I study in the garden. It's meaningless because what makes sense is that I study at home, or meaningful, I study at school. So in English, if you wanted to consider, if you wanted to judge, if you wanted to take a good perspective about anyone's speech, you should look at him from two main perspectives. Which are they? Very good. Grammar and meaning. You should be meaningful or meaningless? Good. Meaningful. And grammar. You should speak in a good, correct way or incorrect, very good, correct way. In order to master grammar, there is a very important door which can you use in order to master the field of grammar. In order to know grammar in a very good way, in order to master grammar in an appropriate way, in an average way, you should go to grammar through tenses. Tenses are very, very important for every grammar regarding any language. And if you wanted to look at tenses, you should consider them as what? We have past, present, and the future. What you did, like last week, last month, last year, is called the past. What you do now is called the present. And what you are going to do in the future is called the future. And to put it simply for you, I will give you a very simple examples for every tense. I went to school yesterday. It's a past. I go to school every day. It's a present. I will travel to Mecca next year. It's called future. Okay. So now I am going to ask you a very simple question. In English, we have three main tenses. Can anyone call them for me? Yes, good. What happened is called past. Very good. And what you do now is called present. Very good. And what you will do in the future is called future. Great job. So, past, present, and the future are the three main tenses in English. And if you master them, you will be very good speaking the language in a very clear way. Here, I would like to give you a very clear another example. Some of you as students are caring or care too much about to speak the language in a fast way in order to impress the people who are listening to them, regardless anything else. They think that when they speak the language very fast, they will make other people say, wow, he is mastering the language in a good way. They wanted to speak like this. once you find the chance to speak English freely and frequently, you don't have to concern yourself excessively with making small mistakes. It's not good way at all, because almost when you hear or listen to any native speaker, whether he is British or American, you will not find someone who speak very fast like this. If you listen to any native speaker, he speaks the language smoothly, very clearly, not very fast. So my tip of advice for you here is try as hard as you can to speak the language in a clear way. Try to impress others, not through speed, but through being clear. Try to deliver your message, try to be meaningful and to be clear at the same time, and do not concern yourself so much with the speed of speaking the language. So, if you wanted to be clear, you should go to grammar, as we said. And in grammar, we said that we have how many tenses? Main tenses, I mean. Very good. We have 3 main tenses. What happened is called past, very good. And what you do now is called present, great job. And what you will do is called future, very good. Let's take present, for example. We have present simple, present perfect, present continuous, and present continuous perfect or perfect continuous. So, in every main tense, we have how many shapes, how many tenses? In one tense, we have, yes, 4 tenses. What is present? Okay, present simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Great job. Let's take any of them. For example, we would like to shed more light today on present perfect. How to master present perfect. How to speak a good, clear, simple sentence related to present perfect. Okay. Mastering present perfect is very simple and easy. In order to master the present perfect, you should know the form, the usage, the keywords, how to make negation, and how to ask a question. So I counted 5 main things. Okay, now we are going to repeat them. Could you help me? Okay. To master present perfect, we should know first, very good, usage, form, keywords, negation, how to make negatives, and inquiry, or how to ask a question. So now we are going to master the present perfect. The present perfect, its form is very easy. It's very, very easy. How should we go with the present perfect, and how do we form a very simple, clear sentence related to the present perfect? Okay, we form it using have or has plus past participle of the verb. So, if you say, I have eaten, she has drunk, they have played, now you are mastering the first of the present perfect, which is the form. I have, he, she, it has, you, we, they have. So I could say, I have. Yes. He has, she has, it has. Good. We, you, they have. So after we say I have, we should put the past participle of the verb, which is the third form of the verb. Whether it's regular, like study, studied, studied. Finish, finished, finished. Or whether it's irregular, like eat, ate, eaten. Drink, drank, drunk. So it's very simple. I can say, I study. No, I have studied English for 2 hours. Again, I have studied English for 2 hours. Or she has cooked 3 meals at 5 or since 5 o'clock. So, the form of the present perfect tense is very clear, very simple. When you say have or has plus past participle of the verb, you form it the present perfect. Okay, how do we use the second category here? Usage. How do we use, why do we use, when do we use the present perfect tense? And how do we deliver it to the listener to communicate and to deliver a very simple, clear message for our listeners or the people we deal with? It's very simple to deal with the present perfect and to deliver your message when you put your mind that how and when do we deliver our message using the present perfect. Consider that your mom has just finished cooking for your family, and now you got your home, you found your mom has finished everything, the pan on the stove is hot, you can smell the smell of the food, like you can smell fish, for example, and you wanted to deliver to your father, for example, to your friend, to your relative, that your mother has just finished cooking for your family. Now, at this very moment, you should speak clear, simple sentence using the present perfect. Present perfect is very simple in its usage here concerning the situation. So, how should we speak a very good, clear, and simple sentence in this situation? Okay, you should say, my mother has or have. Very good. My mother has. Is it supposed to say, my mother has cook? No at all. Cooks? No at all. Cooking? No at all. My mother has cooked. Yes, very good. My mother has cooked dinner for us. It's a very good, clear, simple sentence in the present perfect. So, we dealt with the form and the usage of the present perfect. Now, we are going to deal with the key words. Key words. In life in general, we have so many words that have keys in itself. Like when you say al-Kaaba, al-Ihram, al-Tawaf, al-Sa'i, al-Safa, al-Marwa, white clothes, praying, ablutions, supplications, all these words related to Muslims. Muslims use these words in, for example, pilgrimage or al-Hajj. So, it's the same. In every sentence, in every tense, we should have keywords from those kind of keywords, we would know the tense of the sentence easily. Like when we say, I have studied English for 2 hours. I have studied English for 2 hours is a good, clear sentence related to present perfect. But when I say, I have already, I have just studied English for 2 hours, the words just, already, since, for, yet, all these words related to present perfect. So it's something which is like a magnet, When you hear just already sense 4, you don't have to think too much or bother yourself at all, because here it's very clear that we are dealing with the present perfect tense. How to make negation? How to make negation? How to use negative? It's very simple. Since you were a kid, they say use not followed by have or has in order to make a sentence negative. Like when I say, I have not, she has not, which can be said in another way like this: I haven't, she hasn't. But here also we can use the word never, or at the end we can use the word yet. We can use the word yet. Like when you say, I haven't studied English yet, she hasn't studied English yet, with not and yet at the end of the sentence, you are making very clear negative sentence in the present perfect. How to ask a question using the present perfect? How to ask a question using the present perfect? Good. It's very simple. When I begin a sentence with the word have or has, it is called yes or no question. Like when I say, have you finished? Have you eaten? Have you drunk? Has she finished? Has she cooked? Has she met you in the street? When you are using have or has in the beginning of the sentence or in the beginning of the question, now you are asking a yes or no question, and it's very simple. If anybody asks you a yes or no question, to answer with yes or no. Let's make example. When I say, have you eaten your dinner? You should say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And here I would like to shed more light on a very particular tip, which is very important for you as a student. And when I say, have you eaten? You should answer like this: yes, I have. Have you studied? No, I haven't. Or, no, I haven't yet. But here you can't say, no, I haven't studied English yet. It's called short form. Short, not too long answer. Here we come to the last thing related to the present perfect tense, which is how to form passive. How to form passive. Passive is when you say in Arabic, أكل, شرب, لعب. This is called المبني للمجهول في اللغة العربية. عندما تقول أكل الطعام، شرب اللبن، درس الدرس، هنا في اللغة العربية اسمه إيه؟ المبني للمجهول. In English, it's very simple. When you use the word been, or you can also say been, following have or has, and preceded the past participle of the verb, when you say has been eaten, has been drunk, has been written, has been studied, has been played, here it's a very simple form of the passive of the present perfect. Okay, translate. Has been eaten, أكل. Has been drunk, شرب. Has been played, لعب. So it's like ضمة on the first letter of the Arabic word. When you say لعب, شرب, أكل, الضمة التي توضع على الحرف الأول هي المبني المجهول. When you say أكل, شرب, لعب, it's called passive. When you want to refer to someone's experience in English, you should use present perfect. Like, I have been to Germany. I have never been to France. I have never been to France. I didn't go to France. But as long as it is experience, don't say I didn't go to France. Say it in present perfect. Yes, saying I have never been to France. When you want to refer to change over time, you should use the present perfect tense. Like when he has become more concerned about his social status. He has become more concerned about his social status. Someone like an officer, someone like a minister who would like to be a prime minister, someone who is a teacher and who would like to be a senior teacher, someone who is a doctor and he would like to be a senior doctor, we can say it through the present perfect. And achievements. He has done well in finance. He has done well in the exam. It's a kind of achievement. إنجاز. عندما تريد أن تعبر عن إنجازات عبر عنها بالمضارع التام. Also, uncompleted actions like I haven't yet finished the report. I haven't finished the report yet. It's almost the same. Have you been abroad this year? It's called a time expression. The word this year, since, for, it's a time expression. Use it also. Okay, now we are going to finish. So just like a couple of minutes. Did you like the new Bond movie? It yet. Here we have a keyword, which is yet. Try to think, what does yet refer to? Which is the tense here? Didn't see or haven't seen? Okay, you say haven't seen. Very good. Fred is very close friend of mine. We each other 4 years. And here I put it clear for you the word for, which refers to the present perfect tense. Very good. So have known. Very good. Do you know what time Sarah the office? Do you know what time Sarah left or has left? Has left. Why? Because it's a very close action. He didn't ask about yesterday. He asks about a very close action. It's something like 20 minutes, a couple of minutes. So it's present perfect. You late for work too many times this year. If you are not careful, you will be fired. Have been. Very good. Okay? Till now, I would like to thank you very much for being nice, listening to me. Hopefully we meet again very soon, and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.